Hey, how we doing, you guys? I got another video for you. As you can tell, there's no real rhyme or reason to when I drop these videos. It's just when I think that there's something I'd like to share with you guys. That's kind of when I just pull my laptop out and make one of these little videos. Really quick, I just wanted to kind of jump into this. I have been listening to a lot of podcasts recently, and it's got me thinking about a bunch of different topics. But one that is kind of really changed for me as of late is my nutrition. And I feel like all the success that I've gotten from filling my void with powerlifting, kind of a little bit of bodybuilding, but ultimately just lifting, has kind of made me not necessarily blind, but ignore the nutritional aspect of my life because I have decent enough genetics that I can pretty much eat garbage and still be able to maintain some aesthetics. So I was thinking recently, how am I going to be able to take this to the next level? Like, how can I make my training better and just everything else fire even more optimally? And when I was very honest with myself, I looked at it and I was like, it's going to be my nutrition because I eat out a lot, a lot of Chipotle, a lot of In-N-Out. I work at two breweries, so I'm always eating at a restaurant. And it's easy to kind of convince yourself like, it's vegetables, it's lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, but that's horseshit. So I knew that if I were to dial that in, it would make me feel better. I didn't know quite how good it was going to make me feel though. The diet that I've chosen to go with, and granted, I'm not here to tell you to do any particular diet whatsoever. But it's called the vertical diet, Stan Efferding's vertical diet. It's a performance-based diet, gut health diet. It works really well for me because it's so simplistic. I'm eating a lot of red meats, sweet potatoes, white rice, because it's a simple and easy digestible carbohydrate. And anyway, the point being is that I'm cooking all my own food now. And the reason why I'm telling this to you guys is because I talk a lot about filling the void. And when you stop drinking, you're going to have all this free time. And like, you got to fill your time up with something. So what is it? And for me, lifting was an obvious go-to because I've always wanted to be bigger. I wanted to be stronger. But I was such a drunk that I just figured that was never going to fucking happen. So when I did get sober, I was like, oh, dope. I'm going to fucking finally do this. And I was able to accomplish that. But for those of you out there that are like, okay, well, I had the desire to stop drinking, I have stopped drinking, but now what do I do with my time? I would implore you that if you have not figured out exactly who you are without alcohol yet, because that's really the whole point of filling the void, I would suggest getting your nutrition on track. Not only is that going to make you feel better, and your body will be healthier, but it will take some time. You're going to have to learn how to cook if you don't know how to cook. You're going to have to go and shop for your own foods. You're going to have to figure out a plan that works for you. If you have a very hectic job schedule, you're going to have to learn how to meal prep. And the whole point of all of this is that you will be eating all this food that you prepare. And I cannot, stress enough how much internal energy I have now. I used to, like, some days I could get up to like maybe 3 energy drinks in a day. I got my workout, and then I have like if I'm working a double that day, I might have an energy drink at that shift and one at that shift. And I know it's like, seems crazy, but I've always had a fairly high tolerance to caffeine, especially the more I use it. So what I've been able to do just by making sure that I'm cooking all my own foods and getting to bed, I'm shooting to get to sleep before midnight at this point now. Because I notice when I do that, I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, well rested, and I might have like a little bit of coffee, a little bit of cold brew coffee in the morning to kickstart my kind of metabolism and my thinking process, but sometimes I don't even need that. And then I'll have an energy drink for my workout, and that's it. And then all this other energy is just coming from my diet. I don't understand when people say that they're like, okay, but that's going to be much more expensive. I'm saving money by doing this, and I shop at Whole Foods. And I don't jump on the whole paycheck kind of fucking thing with Whole Foods. Like, I live right behind it, so that's pretty much why I shop there for the most part. But I can get the majority of my shopping, give or take a little bit, for about $75 for the week. of food. And I I feel like, like let's say I go out to Chipotle 3 times a week, it's a $15 burrito, and I'm like, okay, there's $45 and that's 3 meals. So I don't understand how the whole idea of like, well, if I'm gonna, it's not affordable to always be shopping all the time. That's horseshit. Where are you gonna go and eat out all the time and have it be cheaper than besides fast food? We're eliminating fast food because you should just not be eating that shit as garbage. And I'm not saying I've never eaten that. I used to eat it a lot when I was in my teens, but I'd rather eat paper at this point. But so basically, if you don't have a jumping off point, if you don't have something that you have put off your whole life and you don't have anything to immediately focus on filling your time with, then I would just implore maybe giving a thought to cooking your own food or finding a diet plan that works for you, because chances are if you're a full-time alcoholic, you probably don't have optimal nutrition. I guarantee you're probably not eating great, because those go hand in hand. So, and it's made me feel phenomenal. I can't stress enough how much getting better sleep and eating appropriately has what that's done for me. And I know this isn't like, oh my God, Kyle figured it out. I'm just letting you know that this is just something that has kind of changed for me recently, because I've never really done anything like that before. I mean, I've always been able to cook, but to say that I've cooked all my own meals for the last 3 weeks, like, I don't remember the last time I've cooked for all my own meals for the last 3 days. And it's just like anything else. You find a rhythm, you find a pattern. I used to go to sleep with these earrings in. They're only $2.99 at this like piercing shop, and they're so cheap because people say they fucking lose them all the time. And sure enough, they fall out of your ears all the fucking time, but mostly when I'm laying down. And I was getting so frustrated with waking up and I couldn't find these fucking things, and I'm like late to work and I don't want to have one fucking earring in. So now I was like, okay, what if I take these out and I put them in this little tray before I go to sleep? And I just was trying to make sure I do that every single night. And now I don't even think about it. I just pop them out and I put them in that little tray, because now it's a habit. Just kind of like how cooking for myself has just become this habit. It's not like, oh God, okay, where do I start? It's just, I have this rhythm now. So if you put in enough effort to say, I'm going to get this ball rolling, then it becomes easier and easier and easier. Just like, quitting drinking. I've realized most things in life, the hardest part is just fucking starting it. Because we all have a million reasons of why not to start something, right? Oh, it's too much effort, takes so much time, I work too much, I don't have time in the day, yada, yada, yada. But I guarantee you do. If you add up all the time we sit there scrolling through Instagram, through Facebook, just dick around doing stupid shit, if you add up all that time, like, you're telling me you don't got 40 minutes, a half hour to dedicate making sure that you're eating better? Because you can even add up the time that you'd be going out to eat. That is time that you wouldn't be using. So you have plenty of fucking time to make sure that you're cooking your own food. And it's just something that another investment in yourself, that at the end of the day, you're betting on yourself, and you're making this machine that much better, so there's no amount of money that is too much to invest in your health and your mental well-being. I think that for the most part, I feel like I've accomplished what I wanted to say in this video. And the other thing is that it's not about being perfect. I feel like this is such a fucked up mentality that we get sometimes, is that we're striving for perfection all the time. It's not about being perfect. It's just about being better, right? It's about being your own personal best, and trying your hardest not to constantly compare yourself to the success or the shortcomings of others. That is a lose-lose situation across the board, always has been, always will. It's just a shortcut to make yourself feel worse or to end up in a pattern of judgment. And don't get me wrong, it's something I work on all the time. I'll sit there and I'm like, I'm judging someone too much, and I always have to force myself out of there. But I notice that it happens less and less the more I consistently remind myself, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Like, you don't know them, you don't know what's going on in their day to day. Don't judge them. But yeah, it's really not about being perfect. So even if you were to just in the beginning start with cooking some of your own meals, right? That it's going to be beneficial. You know, any change towards a positive direction is a change towards a positive direction. You're going to get some of that benefit, and hopefully, ultimately, you can completely get in the swing of that, and you'll be happier because of it. Lastly, today is the premiere of Deadpool 2. I'm fucking stoked. I'm actually going to dress up in my Deadpool costume and gonna go see it. It's a double feature, so they'll play the first Deadpool, and then right afterwards we're gonna go into Deadpool 2. Got a little group of friends that I'm going with, gonna have a blast. And to tie this all up at the end with a little bow on top, life is short. So if you want to dress up and go see a movie, go do it, right? I'm gonna be 29 this month on May 25th, and you know, so it's like, you can say, like, oh, you're almost 30 years old and you're dressing up as a fucking superhero to go see a movie. You're goddamn fucking right I am. Because before you know it, we're all dead. So go enjoy your fucking life. If something is ruining your life or weighing you down, stop doing that. Reinvest in yourself and do what's going to make you happy. My long-term goals are to do a TED Talks one day, which would be, I like to think it's not a pipe dream. I would love to accomplish that someday. And if that happens, phenomenal. I am slowly working towards that. That's like my overall long arching goal. But then kind of that short mid-range goal is to go traveling. Next year I want to get out of the country. I want to start visiting places once a year outside of this country. And I'm going to fucking make that happen. And I would love to take videos actually while I'm out there. I just thought of that right now, and I'll absolutely do that. And then my day-to-day goals are just to try to do something that I'm happy, or at least I'm proud to say that I've done, or talk to someone and try to affect them in a positive way if it's possible, you know, and try to make every day as good as it can be, you know, and try not to let the stress of a normal everyday life bog you down, because just remember, somewhere out there is someone that has it so much fucking worse than you. That's not to take away from any of the shit that you're going through. It's just supposed to give you perspective. And it's like, is there someone out there that would absolutely trade positions with you because your life is so much fucking better than theirs? Yes, there's millions of them. So your day might be kind of sucking, but your shittiest day are some people's fucking fantasies. So don't ever forget that. Anyway, you guys, like, share, subscribe. Always happy to see you. Always happy to talk to you guys, and I appreciate the love and the comments. And as always, I'm humbled that any of this means anything to anybody. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time. As always, stay sober.